Good morning. This is Pastor Robert Morgan thanking you for coming today to the Donaldson Fellowship. I've noticed that in the last several months, we've had several funerals at our church, and it's been a difficult time for a lot of families. At a funeral or a memorial service of a believer, we often look backwards at that person's life, and then we look forward to the joy and the glory that they're experiencing in heaven. And sometimes I've come home and wondered what I would do were I the pastor of one of those new atheist churches. Because if you were conducting an atheist funeral, you could look back at their life, but there's nothing to look forward to. There is no hope, there is no destiny, no destination there. But as Christ followers, we do have a hope. We can talk about heaven, we can anticipate the future. There is something very wonderful ahead for all of us. Jesus said, "In my Father's house are many mansions." The Bible says He's coming again for us, and this is the message of Easter. On Easter Sunday, we celebrate the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. He said, "Because I live, you will live also." And we want to get this message out to more people than ever before, more clearly and more loudly and more wonderfully than we've ever presented it. And on April 5th, we're going to employ the oldest evangelistic technique in church history, each one, reach one. We're asking everybody in our church, young and old, to invite someone to join them on that day and to come with them. And if you begin now and you start inviting people, then you'll be able to find some people who will make a commitment to come. I've already started inviting people, and several people who are now non-churchgoers, but they've told me that they'll come on that particular day. I've challenged our deacons to do the same thing and our staff to do the same thing, and I want to challenge you to do the same thing as well. Even children can bring their friends, young adults, older adults, all of us have somebody the Lord can bring into our lives if we prayerfully and earnestly invite them to come, and it can make a difference for eternity. This is so very important. If you know people who live out of town and they're non-church going people and you suspect that they're not going to be in church on that day, then you can also recruit them to join us by means of our live streaming webcast on that day at donaldson.org. We can have an online record attendance too. This can make a difference in people's lives, because the angels said about the Lord Jesus on that first Sunday, "Why are you seeking the living among the dead? He is not here in the tomb. He has risen just as He said." And that's a message that we want to give on April the 5th to as many people as we can and to all of the world.
And we want this slogan, "Each one, reach one," to be more than just a slogan. We want to put action to it. And so we have a few action steps for you this very Sunday. Right now in this service, we want you to think about that specific person that you have in mind. It could be a family member or a neighbor or a coworker. But think about that person, and as you leave, there'll be somebody at every door, at every exit, and they'll be passing out these invite cards. So take some of those cards and give them to those specific people that you've been thinking about. We know that the best and the most effective way of communication is word of mouth, and so think about that. Think about who you want to invite. Secondly, we have put up a station right out in the hallway where the map is. We've covered the map with this special paper, and what we'd like for you to do is write the name, just the first name only, of the specific people that you want to invite for Easter. This just gives us action, it gives us accountability, knowing that every time you walk past the hallway and you see that name, it's a reminder to either invite that person or a reminder that we collectively as a church can pray for that person. So as you leave, take one of those cards and think about that name and write it on the board, and so that we can see what the Lord's going to do, so that we can pray together as a community and as a church. And we look forward to a wonderful, wonderful Easter Sunday on April the 5th. We hope that you can make it, and more importantly, we hope that you'll be in prayer for what God's going to do on that Sunday.